Okay, so now you guys can do your.
Okay.
So remind me, we're going to do a welcome.
Welcome.
And then commercial, and then.
Commercial, then Mallory. Okay.
We're live. Darn it.
What's going on, everyone? Thrift Behringer here, live on the road. A unique situation that's happening here tonight in GIAA High School Football Scoreboard Show. Thrift Behringer, Richard Holdridge, Big Rich. What a night in high school football around the association.
Yeah, it was an incredible night of high school football action around the GIAA. We even had a matchup that was right down to the wire, a one-point game, and I'm just excited to talk about all of it.
I am too, man. We got a bunch we're going to be getting into here, Rich, as we always do. But first things first, we want to say we are presented by the Beck Center. Thank you to Roger Beck and the Beck Center for their support of what we do. Richard, you just did semifinals for volleyball, man. Quick update on how that went there today. You can watch all the action, $29.99 on GIAA.tv.
Yeah, it is a great semifinal matchups. I mean, we had the defending champions, Heritage. They ended up taking down LaGrange Academy. We had Grace Christian, the number 8 seed, ended up defeating Heritage Prep. And then we had probably the greatest comeback I've ever seen in volleyball. The Keens Academy had a 2-1 lead, and that was against Tallulah Falls. And Tallulah Falls beat them in 5 sets. The number 4 seed advances to the championship, and Pacelli ends up defeating Brookstone in 4 sets. So the championship sets are set for tomorrow. We have Grace Christian that's taking on Heritage. This is a rematch of the championship from last year. And then we have Pacelli taking on Tallulah Falls, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, that's right about that, Richard. All right, what we're going to do is, how about, Rich, you throw it to commercial real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll have the Mallory and Evans Team of the Week.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go ahead, and Drew Butler is going to have that announcement after our commercial break.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted, for introverts and extroverts, for the thinkers and the doers, for old friends. Coca-Cola, for everyone.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Everyone, Drew Butler back once again to present to you the Mallory and Evans GIAA Team of the Week. I am the Vice President of Business Development at Mallory and Evans, and we have loved this partnership with the GIAA presenting the Team of the Week each and every week throughout the state of Georgia. Without further ado, here is your Team of the Week. Congratulations to Bullock Academy. That's right. The defending state champs from 4A improved to 6-1 with a resounding 55-28 victory over Hilton Head Christian. That's right. They went across state lines. Hilton Head Christian went down to Bullock Academy from the South Carolina Independent School Association. Bullock Academy continuing to pour it on. They're 6-1. Big win over Hilton Head Christian last week. Congratulations, Bullock Academy. You are the Mallory and Evans GIAA Team of the Week. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, congratulations to Bullock Academy. They are the Mallory and Evans Team of the Week and a big win over Hilton Head Christian. And I tell you, we do have some highlights here. Look at the Gators coming out of the tunnel. And they had a big home win as a running back ends up with a stiff arm there. How about that run? He is taking it out of bounds, almost a big run there, trying to go for the touchdown. And look at we knew that Bullock Academy was just this physical team, you know, winning a state championship last year. And look at that pick six, that interception right there. He's almost in the end zone. That wasn't a pick six, but Bullock Academy ends up forcing the turnover there. And then, you know, after that you get a big interception, you just punch it in for the score. Bullock Academy, they just imposed their will. This is actually the first meeting between the schools. 627 total yards of offense for Bullock Academy. And you had J.B. Roach, 75 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. Remember, Bullock Academy likes to run the football. Rocco Reese, 178 yards. Maddox Lee had 108 yards. And Dane Garvin had 100 yards. So 3 players for Bullock Academy ran the football for over 100 yards. Dane Gavin had a big 50-yard reception to the touchdown. That highlight's going to be featured in just a bit. But this has just been a dominant performance by the Mallory and Evans Team of the Week. And why not go get another score in just for fun? And Bullock Academy just imposed their will. Hilton Head Christian, another interception on that play. And Bullock Academy was just dominated on both sides of the football. How about this pass? Right open in the flat. He's got blockers, and he is going to the house.
Yeah, that's some big-time plays right there, Richard. I've been impressed seeing Bullock Academy getting a big win over Hilton Head, man, and they continue their great stretch. Their only loss is to John Millage, and I expect Bullock Academy right back in the thick of things trying to win a championship, Big Rich. Yeah,
no question about it. As Hilton Head ended up having it right here, and another interception. That was
Wow!
Tip drill right there, Thrift.
That was a big-time play, Bullock. Just that running Russell offense, just hard to stop, and they were dominant again. Good win by the Bullock Academy, 48-21. Richard, how about that? Oh, we're going to. They said, hey, we'll even get more highlights in there. We're going to make sure we get every one of them. We're going to throw the football. Big-time play there by Bullock.
Yeah, that was Dane Gavin with a 50-yard reception touchdown. And, you know, he doesn't celebrate. He just gives the football to the official. Class act for Bullock Academy.
No doubt about it. Great win. Great job. Mallory Evans, Team of the Week. Thank you to Mallory Evans and Drew Butler, as always, for our Teams of the Week here on the GIAA.
Yeah, no question about it. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we are going to talk about the action that happened tonight. We had some games that went down to the wire, and we had some big-time matchups all across the GIAA.
At Planet Fitness, there's strength in numbers. The number of different workouts to do.
1, 2, 3.
Different clubs to do it in. Friends to do it with.
Looking good, everybody.
Yeah, we are.
And the number of ways to recover from it all.
You got this, come on.
And it all adds up to one membership. The Planet Fitness Black Card. Access any location, bring a friend anytime, and recover in the Black Card Spa.
One more, everybody.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
And welcome back
Welcome
to
back,
the
everybody.
GIAA High School Football Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, Thrift. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. I was just saying I'm glad to be back. Had a fun time tonight keeping up with all these scores. Can't wait to get into them.
Yes, let's go ahead and run through the scoreboard. We're going to start with Frederica taking down Bullock Academy. Thrift?
Wow, what an upset, Rich. The 3A number 5 team in the same region. Remember, they're in that Savannah area. Frederica says, hello. They took Bullock to town, 35-20.
Thrift, is this the first time that a team of the week has lost the following week?
Yeah, so there's no team of the week curse. I don't know. You don't put that in, Drew
No,
Butler.
I'm not going to try to.
Don't fester that. Don't you put that
I'm
bad
not trying
curse
to
out there.
No, what a big win for Frederica. All right, let's go to 8-man football. How about Georgia Christian putting the wood on David Emanuel?
60-26. What a win by Georgia Christian. They continue their incredible start to their season. And listen, Rich, there's about 6-7 teams in that 8-man football have a chance to win it all.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Georgia Christian is one of those teams. Some more 8-man football action. Citizens, 49-0 over Crisp Academy. Dominant win by Citizens Christian.
Yeah, it was. Good win by Citizens Christian as they are trying to keep up with the Joneses, as I made mention, Big Rich. So Citizens Christians gets a big win. David Emanuel, they get back in the win column, and they get a big win. And looking at the rankings right now, Richard, David Emanuel goes to 6-3. Georgia Christian goes to 6-2. Both them, David Emanuel 7, Georgia Christian 4.
All right, moving along. Deerfield Windsor getting a win over Tift Area, 21-13. You got the defending 3A champions, a huge win over Tift Area, 2 top teams in 3A.
Yeah, the only undefeated team, Richard, that we have in the entire association. Can you believe that?
I can't
There is
believe
only one undefeated team in our entire association, and that is Deerfield Windsor. Okay, and they now go to 8-0 on the season. The number 2 team, defending champion, trying to keep up with John Millage. Great win by them.
And here we go. Southwest Georgia Academy. How about this win over Robert Toombs, 16-14?
Yeah, good win by Southwest Georgia over the defending 1A champion, Southwest Georgia. Remember, they were behind Southland, Richard, in our latest rankings that we saw. So with this big win against a 3A opponent, and a 1A opponent, they'll go to 5-3 now on the season.
All right. Pinewood gets a big 39-12 victory over St. Andrews. In 3A classification, Pinewood, a very convincing win over St. Andrews.
Yeah, good job by Pinewood getting a win. Now Pinewood, who was ranked number 6 heading into tonight, get to 500. Good win for them, and they're trying to stay where they don't have to play that first round. So good win for Pinewood, Big Rich.
All right, these two teams played each other in volleyball earlier in the afternoon. I was wondering why that crowd was not as packed as I expected, but Brookstone ends up beating Pacelli in football to avenge that volleyball loss. No, the Jug stays on the campus of Brookstone for a second year. A big win for Coach Ian Headley beating the Pacelli Vikings.
This game was back and forth, and Pacelli was driving and got stopped inside the 20. Great game. Every one of these games have gone, and there have been one possession games for the last 4 years. Brookstone goes to 7-1 now in this season. Pacelli goes to 3-5, but that loss on the road against a top 3 team in the state, I don't expect them to drop in the rankings. Big win, though, for Brookstone.
All right, Thrift. John Millage, they keep beating everybody. They beat FPD, a 4A school. Big region win for John Millage, who still has one loss, and it was to a GHSA school in Athens Academy. Yeah,
so big win for them for sure, Richard. They have dominated everybody on their schedule they played that's in the GIAA. They go to 7-1. Their strength, their record, everything has been just high above everyone else. This is the John Millage of old. They're back to being the team of the GIAA and the school of the GIAA. As far as FPD, they're going to drop. I think Brookstone gets back to number 2. FPD will probably stay within the top 3 or 4. They'll go to 6-3 on the season now, does the Vikings.
All right, let's talk 8-man football. The defending 8-man football champion, Sherwood Christian out of Albany, 44-12 over Westwood.
Yeah, Sherwood now goes to 7-0 on the season. Big win for them. They stay undefeated, and they take down a really good Westwood team. They came in ranked number 6, 6-2 on the year. They go to 6-3. So Sherwood Christian looking like every bit the defending champion in 8-man football.
Probably the game of the night. Westfield had the 7-0 lead. Calvary had 16 unanswered points. It was back and forth. Calvary had the lead. It was 23-21. And Westfield School kicks the game-winning field goal with about 9 seconds left to go. And that's all she wrote. Westfield goes into Columbus, gets the win over Calvary. And Calvary, the start of 5-0, has dropped 3 straight. But what a big win for Westfield School.
Yeah, well, Calvary led pretty much the whole game. They were up 16-7, 16-14. They were up 23-14. Then Westfield gets it to within 2 and then kicks a game-winning field goal with 9 seconds left. Calvary, tough loss at home, but way to battle back after getting pretty much dominated. I wouldn't say dominated, but it was never in doubt, that Pacelli and Brookstone game, and especially in that fourth quarter. Calvary battled back, played well, but they go to 5-3. And as far as Westfield, they're trying to keep up with Deerfield Windsor and John Millage. They go to now 6-2 on the season.
And they play Brookstone next week, by the way.
Woo! Sign me up.
Yep, let's do it. Here's a team we don't really talk much about. Rock Springs Christian out of Milner. As this is their second year in the GIAA, they get a big win over Dominion Christian. And so congratulations to the Rock Springs Christians Eagles.
Yeah, great job by Rock Springs getting a good win over Dominion Christian. Richard, impressed that they were able to pick that up for sure on that one, Rich. And I think Rock Springs, they are, last time I checked, that is an 8-man football team.
Yeah, they went down
correct,
to 8-man football. They used to be in the gaps, and they used to play 11-man football.
All right, let's continue on.
All right, well, Covenant ends up getting a win over Grace Christian. We know we saw the volleyball team get a big win today against Augusta Prep, or against LaGrange Academy. But their football team, they ended up falling to Covenant earlier today in 8-man football.
Covenant goes to 500. Grace Christian goes to 1-6. So Covenant, they're right now number 10 on the threshold of making the playoffs. They needed to get this win, and they did.
All right. Stratford, who was ranked number 1 in the GIAA, had no problem against Tatnall, 49-0. It's been a tough season for Tatnall. With Stratford, it's got everything in front of them, and they got some big matchups coming up and it looks like they can run the table and they could get the top spot in the GIAA, the 4A classification.
Yeah, so good job by Stratford. After having back-to-back losses, they get a big win in the win column and go to 6-2, and I think they're going to stay number 1 in the GIAA 4A classification.
All right, Thrift, we got a couple more scores left. Piedmont ends up defeating Riverside Prep 40-12. Big win for Piedmont.
Yes, Piedmont needed that big win, Richard, over Riverside Prep. As we talked about, Piedmont obviously hasn't played a tough schedule. That's why they're 5-3 now and 10th in that classification. But they did get a big win, and they are trying to stay in that playoff hunt. They are the number 10 seed.
And the battle of the Westminsters. Westminster School.
Oh.
Not Westminster Schools of Augusta. Westminster School gets the 32-25 victory over Westminster Christian.
Yeah, so Westminster Schools of Augusta comes in number 3, 6-1 on the season. They took on Westminster Christian Academy, 6-1, number 5. And obviously Schools of Augusta takes them down in what was a fantastic game, Richard, back and forth, down to the wire. And so Schools of Augusta goes to 7-1 now, trying to keep up with Fidelia Heritage and Sherwood. So great job by both of them, Richard. And I thought that may have been one of the games of the night for sure in the 8-man classification.
All right. How about a shout out to the Flint River Academy Wildcats as they defeat Windsor
Yeah, I don't even
Academy.
know why you tried it, Rich. Your voice is already given out.
Big shout out to Joe Howard.
Yeah. Wildcats. I couldn't do it either, man.
My voice is
I
gone.
was calling. Mine is too, man. I'm in Sumter right now, Maracus.
There we go.
But Flint River, 5-2 now on the season. We'll say number 1. Big win for Flint River.
All right, Valwood, big win over Terrell Academy. I think Valwood is starting to come on their own. They're looking like a championship team once again.
5-2 now. Valwood is on the season, ranked number 4, and Valwood, Westfield, Deerfield, Windsor, and of course John Millage, all vying for that championship belt from the 3A classification. Good win by Valwood, and they beat a decent Terrell Academy team. Richard, Terrell came in to today ranked number 9, 4-3, so they'll go to 500.
All right, so those are all the graphics that I have so far, but we had some scores that were coming in while we were doing the show, Thrift, and just wanted to run by them real quick. We still did not get a score update for Augusta Prep and Edmund Burke. Also, Heritage, Central Fellowship. Central Fellowship was leading in that game. I was trying to get a score update on that. And then we had Briarwood and Gatewood. We didn't have a score update in that. A lot of teams were off this week because some of these schools are on fall break. But we'll continue trying to roll along. Southland Academy took on Trinity Christian, didn't get a final in that. And John Hancock took on St. Mary's and looking for a final in that as well.
Yeah, well, that's where you always go to the GIAA Sports website, Richard, and you can get update information there. But let's talk about some of the games coming up next week, Richard. Don't forget, we got the GIAA Volleyball State Championships tomorrow. $29.99. That's the cost of 2 adult tickets. You can watch fantastic championship matches, Richard. I'll let you set the stage for both 3A and 4A. 2A and 3A, excuse me.
For the 2A championship tomorrow, it's the rematch of the 2A championship from last year. The defending champions, Heritage, who won it on their home court last year, is taking on Grace Christian, who had just an incredible run. The number 8 seed upset Georgia Christian, the 1 seed, and then they ended up upsetting Augusta Prep, the number 4 seed. And they are taking on Heritage, who really had no problem against LaGrange Academy. They were able to win it convincingly in 3 sets. Now the 3A championship, and the Darlings that knocked off the number 1 seed Tallulah Falls were down 2-1 against the Kings Academy. They win that fourth set to force a fifth set, and they end up knocking out the number one seed, the Kings Academy. Tallulah Falls is going to be taking on the Pacelli Vikings, who ended up defeating Brookstone in 4 sets. And so this is a rematch of a quarterfinal matchup that was at Pacelli last year. Tallulah Falls ended up falling to Pacelli in the quarters last year. They're going to get an opportunity to face them in the championship. And Pacelli, with a new coach, has an opportunity to go back-to-back. So this is going to be a great championship, and hopefully they'll have a lot more fans because it's a Saturday, and I expect a lot of Pacelli fans to make that trip up to Rome to see Pacelli possibly win a second straight championship.
GIAA.tv is where you can watch both those incredible games, 4 and 6 o'clock. Do not forget to tune in. Next week, we got the softball state championships. The brackets have already been released. We'll be talking about that on Inside the GIAA on a Wednesday night. That is on GIAA Facebook page, YouTube channel. Again, Inside the GIAA, we will talk about the softball state championship, recap the volleyball, and set the stage for this incredible playoff stretch coming up with football as well. So don't forget to tune in next week. Some games that will be of notice for next week in football, Richard. I got a few of them that I'm already circled in.
Yes.
One of them, Deerfield Windsor at Valwood. That's going to be a lot of fun at 7:30. And Brookstone at Westfield. So we got 2 big-time games between Deerfield and Valwood, and then Westfield and Brookstone. I cannot wait to see those matches, man. It will be a ton of fun to tune in to watch those for sure. So can't wait for that, Big Rich. Can't wait to tune in again next week. We'll be back in action live in person as we will do the high school scoreboard show presented by the Beck Center. Big Rich, any other final thoughts?
No, it's just been a great day of GIAA sporting events. I can't wait till next week. The Inside the GIAA show we're going to have previewing the softball championships. They're going to happen next week at the South Common Softball Complex. And we're about to put a bow on the high school football season. We're about a month away from the state championships over in Macon. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either, Richard. And thank y'all so much for tuning in with us on this late Friday night. Congratulations to all the teams that won. Richard, we are 3 weeks away from deciding who's going to be in the playoffs. Those rankings are coming out again. We'll discuss them on Inside the GIAA. From Richard Aldridge, I'm Thrift Behringer. Rich, I'm going to let you sign us off.
All right. Thanks, Thrift. Thanks for watching another episode of the GIAA High School Football Scoreboard Show. Until next time, we'll see you then.